Yep, yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Blessed Sunday to you all. Our topic is there. Consequences of Museveni's intervention in South Sudan and region. So the topic bitana. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Kullakum. Ihimudina shedi yobe alaweri Urabata ulenino alaweri Urabata ulenino Hatodo Majenata uwekabi Yesu emesi Ashani warina Minubudia Tashitania Yobe alaweri Urabata ulenino alaweri Urabata ulenino Hatodo Majenata uwekabi Yesu emesi Ashani warina Minduluma Tafatia Yode alaweri Urabata ulenino alaweri Urabata ulenino alaweri Urabata ulenino alaweri Urabata ulenino This is our legend, Emmanuel Kambe. We appreciate him. يقولنا على وري فعلا وري لنا محبة بتاعه في جنوب السودان لكن we did not realize يعني يا نجيني leaders القال المفروض من يا leaders البلد من فوكس بقى دمروا البلد ده so يا الله وري محبة بتاعه في شنو ناقص في جنوب السودان في شنو سي ناقص في جنوب السودان ما في so يا فالمكين قال لي أحد مبارك لكم والناس هنبتدي بعد شوية بس أعمل شير الناس اللي في يوتيوب أعمل كوبي لللينك ده نزله في صفحتك في فيسبوك سيبه أول كده فتح كان فتح يلا بعدك تعمل له بوست الناس اللي في فيسبوك if you can do that that will be fine thank you
Kaliana kaba itabiwedi rajaleana ana mabikafu asanita fimana ana bai fijebe musada tai bijaminita dependa comforta is your name Alpha Omega is your name kelana geni leta Ilana fadulu leita, Ilana geni leita, Ilana fadulu leita. You are my defender, comforter. Bless your name. You are the Alpha and Omega. I worship you, Lord. Ilana geni leita, Ilana fadulu leita, Ilana geni leita, Ilana fadulu leita. You are my defender, comforter. Bless your name. You are the Alpha and Omega. I worship you, Lord. The Lord is an idol. Umanya obijere lukua. Zakuri, alibijere mabikutaba. Itara wana rabuna, ifutukulu. Musana mualako. They seem taki, Bidaya Wanihaya, they seem taki. mighty defender, comforter. Praise your name. You are the Alpha and Omega. I worship you, Lord. I worship you. Kelala geni leita, tafi mashaki. Kelala fadulu leita, fita joroba. Kelala geni leita, amaro wape. Kelala fadulu leita, alijawa. You are my defender, comforter. Praise your name. You are the Alpha and Omega. I worship you, Lord. Kelala geni leita, kelala geni leita. Yesu Masia, kelala fadulu leita. Hata fi mashakil ketiri, kelala geni leita. Omamta dunia ketiri awe, kelala fadulu leita. Kelala geni leita rapuna, kelala geni leita. Immanuel alamanina. Kelala fadulu leita, kelala fadulu leita rabula. Kelala geni leita, kelala geni jambita rabula. Kelala fadulu leita, ana yaw leita yawe. Kelala geni leita, ita de mafimanina. Kelala fadulu leita, Yesu Masia. Kelala geni leita. Kelala geni jambita rabuna sama. Kelala fadulu leita, kelala fadulu leita. Kelala geni leita, kelala fadulu leita. Kelala fadulu leita.
زي ما احنا ماشيين وانا واخواتي التوبيك بتاعنا واضح بيتكلم عن تداعيات بتاع شنو تدخل بتاع يوري مسيفني في جنوب السودان وفي المنطقة أو the consequences of Museveni's intervention in South Sudan and the region. أنا طبعا هقدم في حاجات معينة نقدر نتكلم فيه مهم جدا، وفي فيديوهات بسيط هنا وصور أنا هشغله، أنا هطلعه هنا في الفيديو ده حاجات ملخص كلامنا. أنا ما هسرد فيه كتير، ما I will not dwell too much، لكن مهم جدا أنا نسرد جانب ده، هو مهم خالص في الوضع اللي احنا فيه، الوضع الراهن السياسي في جنوب السودان. الوضع شوية طبعا زي ما انتوا شفتوا الحاجات اللي حصل وشنو الكلام الكتير ده، لكن المهم احنا هنبدأ بعد شوية طوالي. So sorry يا جماعة، أنا ما أعرف what did I do here. sorry. شايف إنه الناس قاعدين يجوا يكلموا شيء. sorry yeah so المهم في قلنا ده شوية كده، يلا بعد ده قلنا هنبدأ طوالي. sorry meanwhile you guys are coming around.
Give thanks and praise to the Most High and I for the people of South Sudan, Let's come together so we can resolve our own problems. Peace and unity is more important to our country. Anagi asalu mushkilata hakuma shuno. Kananinagi asalu mushkilata hakuma shuno. Kananinagi asalu malitu majujibu salam. Kananinagi asalu lifu de kudu le shuno. Kananinagi asalu witu maju salam aliatu. Yakia ninagi asalu witu maju salam aliatu. Kananina mazin salam tashukulu waziri. Anina mazin tifakia tashukulu naib rais. Anina bigata banin kalamu kasimu sulta wa mafi salam. Yaki junubin bigata banin kalamu kasimu sulta wa mafi salam. Kananina di asalu mushkila bitakum شنو سانتي كيديونجي أسالو سمشكلة بتاعكم شنو ناس إيكاكي أسالو مشكلة بتاعكم شنو ياكي يو ألامجي أسالو سمشكلة بتاعكم شنو Itunkulu ya siasi ya muumini na mutamaduni taalu nugani fulata kulana fi round table taalu nugani fulata kulana fi round table ninagale taalu nugani fulata kulana fi round table wana suma shakita beletena ikhlas wa aman wana sugati atajunub kulana zeyal junub wana suma shakita beletena bekel mawahid wani asalu nufus na kaman yake mushkila da bada min wen kalina asalu nufus na kaman Yasin, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, insecurity the diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Mutu the diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Kerahia the diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Gabelia the diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Kalam Fasade diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Yakamu Watade diving when, Kelina Asalo Nufus Nakaman, Sulumu Badunde diving when. عشان كده نينا بكلمه أنينا مازن سلام تشكل وزير أنينا مازن تفاكية تشكل نائب رئيس أنينا بيغتا بانين كلامو كسيمو سلطة وما في سلام ياكي جنوبين بيغتا بانين كلامو كسيمو سلطة وما في سلام عشان كده كلنا جيبوا سلام سلام الحقيقة سلام في بلدنا سلام دي وحيدونينا سلام الحقيقة ويلا نرفع بلدنا فوق سلام الحقيقة ونرفع جنوبنا فوق سلام الحقيقة نرفع بلدنا فوق سلام الحقيقة كلنا نرفع بلدنا فوق سلام الحقيقة ونرفع بلدنا فوق Peace and unity is more important to our country.
يا نشكر أخونا جيمي سانترلينو أريكا. مرات أنا بجد إنه فنانين في جنوب السودان هم أصدق الناس لما نيجي يغنوا. فأنا بسلم عليكم أخواني وأخواتي في الداخل وخارج جنوب السودان. بقول لكم أحد مبارك لكم كلكم، أهلنا كل الموجودين برضو في الدول الجوار، والمساكين الظروف قاعد يلف بهم في الزمن الهسي، الظروف الاقتصادية الهسي في مخيمات وحتى في داخل جنوب السودان. أنا بسلمكم كلكم، وأنا بقول إنه ما تفقدوا أمل. قاعد يمر بيه الجنوب ده فعلا ده شغل خطير جدا، وده حاجة اللي بيخلي إنه في ناس كتار ممكن يكونوا فقدوا أمل، لكن ما تفقدوا أمل. ده ظروف بتاع دولة كده، دولة اللي بيكون دايما ابتدى حديثا وكان لسه في ناس زي الجماعة زي ناس سيلفا كير قاعدين في السلطة، ما هيحصل أي تغيير. لكن انتوا يا قوة بتاع تغيير، هو بتاع التغيير الحقيقي اللي هو للدولة اللي اسمه جنوب السودان. ده مسؤولية بتاعك، لأنه أنت صوتت لبلد، أنت يا اخترت إنه دار بلد ده. فبالتالي we should not really lose hope. We should not lose hope. This is what we actually voted for. We voted for independence of this country. The day when all of us stood, along the queues as people of South Sudan before we were divided along the ethnic line by President Silva Kiir in 2013, we were actually standing there as South Sudanese. We decided for the fate of this country. We were driven by the spirit of our forefathers since 1947, until we reach 1955, and also in 70s up to 1983, and in 2011 when we declare our country. That was actually the vision of our forefathers. That vision, it was a fulfillment, was fulfilled by you, and this is the responsibility of a country. We should not let our country to slip out of our hands by some greedy leaders, within the country, especially in the person of President Kiir, alongside with his, kleptocrats who are there just, to satisfy themselves and leading the country to reach this level. And beside this, we also have those ambitious leaders in the region. They actually wish our country to continue in this dilemma, so then they can milk out all the resources. Whether the way we can see with our useful idiots called Silver Care, I'm sorry to say this, like Ryan, Clem Ryan said, that Kir is a useful idiot because you have a wealth, you have everything in your country, but now you're being compromised and manipulated by other people, like the way now we are seeing uh, Yuri Museveni is doing. And today, the topic is very clear. You can see it's a consequence of Museveni's intervention in South Sudan and the region. My brothers and sisters, when we are coming to talk about the interests of our country, or we are talking about our country, sovereignty of our interests come first. We don't care who you are, your neighboring country or whatever you want, or you're threatening us. This is our country. The same way that they're looking to the different perspective of putting their interests first, you have to put your interests. And you should not play with this. You should not joke with this. This is your country. You voted for it. We have millions of people died from 1947 up to date. They are still being killed and they are dying because of this country. So, therefore, my brothers and sisters, when we are talking about our country, when we are talking about the face of this country, the integrity of this country, sovereignty of this country that we want to protect, because now it become like uh, you know an abandoned house somewhere else. Everyone can come and relax in it and take whatever they can, take, because it's available for everyone. We need to make sure that that abandoned house is closed. The doors are closed. The windows are closed. Anybody comes in need to come with permission, and it has to be known, and his interest has to be known because our interests come first. This is what Dr. Wani Tombe actually told us 16 years ago, when he actually, as if he was prophesying, he predicted everything that is happening today, that we will become a weak country. We will, the country will have so many, militias here and there, tribal militias in communal fight here and there. He talked about the international espionage also will be roaming all about in South Sudan. He talked about a very fragile or security in the country, and about also the economy. And we are facing this, you see.
أنا أسأل مشكلة حكومة.
معلش يا جماعة ناس في اليوتيوب sorry. So, my brothers and sisters, as I just gave this short introduction, and our topic is very clear here: the consequences of Museveni intervention in South Sudan and the region. We have to speak from a different angle. We have to look at the, and when we are talking about this repercussion of the Ugandan president, in region, and also the interference in region and also South Sudan. When you look at the regional instability in that regard, there's exacerbating political and also the plundering of national resources, also threatening the fragile peace and stability in Uganda itself. And then again, the instability of the tribal conflict in the region. This is in a different form. يعني أنا داير نقول شنو بالعربي اللي هو تداعيات تدخل النظام بتاع الرئيس اليوغندي في جنوب السودان وفي المنطقة. أنا طبعا هركز كتير في جنوب السودان، لكن كان لازم إحنا نجيب الجانب ده. هيكون شنو في عدم استقرار بتاع المنطقة، تفاقم في الصراعات السياسية، في نهب الموارد الطبيعية، في تهديد السلام والاستقرار، الهشة حتى ذاته في يوغندا، وتفاقم النزاعات القبلية في المنطقة خاصة في جنوب السودان. والكلام اللي أنا قاعد أقوله ده مهم جدا. ليه؟ لأنه إحنا في جنوب السودان كدولة، زي ما أنا قلت في جبت كلام بتاع دكتور واني تمام، أنا بس أخذته كإكزامبل، لكن إحنا ناخذته إنه جنوب السودان بقى فيه اللي هو مطامع دولية وخاصة إقليمية، وإحنا شايفينه بعينه، حتى لأقصى مناطق إحنا ما عندنا دخل بهم. يعني حتى الدول العربية اللي كانوا ضدنا، حتى الإمارات في عهد بتاع الحرب بتاعنا بتاع 21 years، الإمارات كان بيجيف مع السودان، كان بدعم ذاته ضدنا إحنا. لكن هسه بواسطة إنه في عندك رئيس فاشل، معلش هو فشل في إدارة بتاع الدولة، إدارة الموارد، إدارة البشر، والكلام ده كله حاصل. وكلام ده اللي نقدر نتكلم فيه ما بس من جانب ده، إحنا نقدر نتكلم عن الكلام ده في جوانب اللي هو لو خطينا في الجوانب العرقية، في الجانب العرقية هو ذاته في المنطقة في ريجون بتدخلات بتاع يوري مسيفني ده. لما نحن نقول في جوانب عرقية ثقافية برضو ده حاجة مهمة احنا لازم نعرف. الكلام ده أنا لما نيجي نتكلم فيه في there is some people بالذات ملف بتاع الدكتوريات برضو هيجي فيه، وأنا داير بالذات ناس بتاع أيو في حاجة أنا there is some information I need to expose it here, and the people of South Sudan should know this, and we should all work against it. It should not repeat in South Sudan. Today, if leaders disagree, even within South Sudan, no one should be eliminated. The political disagreement should remain always a political disagreement. It's not now has to be turning to elimination of other leaders. So those who want to eliminate other leaders, do you think you deserve to leave? If you think that another leader should be eliminated, basically because you disagree with him politically, and then you have a right to eliminate him, why should you also leave? If you think that you should eliminate other, political leader that you disagree with him or whatever creation بتاع كذب اللي انتوا عملتوا ده كلام أنا يعني نقاط مهم جدا انتوا لازم ايش شنو احنا يا سو ده يعني ده حاجات مهم جدا. انا القضايا اللي احنا قاعدين نتكلم فيه ده يا جماعه، قضايا ده مهم جدا. It's a very important that we have to to talk about this يعني الحاجات الريبركوشنز بتاع التدخل بتاع يوغندا ذاته في انترست بتاعنا. انتوا طبعا شفتوا الحاجات اللي حصل، الدراما اللي حصل في فترة اللي فاتت ده، اللي هو رايلا اودينغا. المره اللي فاتت انا ظهرت فيديو بتاع رايلا اودينغا لما هو قال بانه كير رفض انه هو يقابل دكتوريا، لانه دكتوريا طبعا محبوس، وقال انه دكتوريا انه يمشي يعني this is a very embarrassing situation. It's a diplomatic failure because Raila Odinga, or Honorable Raila Odinga, is a politician. He's known in Antonio Guterres himself was able to mention his name, that they are going to hear from him. So it was really a big diplomatic failure in the side of the Kir and his group, or those of Bolmela Namar Demunugadiam long advisor. So, and then came out this Secretary of Information in the Office of President. He came out. He was just talking as if Zolgaet fi Sukonyo Konyo. He was talking, what this is what the president said, the Kalam Damasa. But Kaman there is some medias there, some newspapers in Juba were they were also making kind of trying to also give a different narrative. When قالوا انه زول ده هيجي تاني، لكن حسب المعلومه الجاني الزول ده ما في، لانه في مناسبه تاني، بس انا عشان الفيديو ده ما I didn't save it here، بتاع رايلا اودينغا. دينكا كان قاعد يتابع كان معزوم في مناسبه بتاع بيكا كده هناك في بلده، وما جاء اصلا يعني للمره الثانيه. لكن ده بس طبعا ده كان ترويج ساكت، لانه فضيحه اللي حصل our resources، أو في النهاية بتاع المطاف هو يحمي كير. وزي ما أنا قلت في الصورة داك بعدين أنا هاجي أتكلم فيها، أنا أويش إنه أنت it's not connected here or what? Yeah, this is this. Yeah, so الحاجة الحاصل إنه الحاجات اللي حصل ده كله انت بتشوف انه يعني مؤسف جدا. انت قاعد تتعامل مع دولة ما بيعرف في السياسة الخارجية بتاعك ده، انت عرفتها، انت قسمت الدول ده حسب شنو. لو انت قلت مثلا يوغندا ده استراتيجيك الاي ليه انت ما كدولة، ليه انت ككير عشان يبقيك في سلطة، ما استراتيجيك الايز لينا احنا كساوث سودانيز. باي ذا واي يوري مسيفيني is a strategic allies لكير، ما لينا كساوث سودان، لأنه هو he's against our national security, the integrity of our country. هو يوري مسيفيني himself هو against our country. وفي حاجات احنا هنودها هنا، مطاعم بتاعه ذاته شنو، الكونسيكونسز بتاع التدخل بتاعه ده هو ذاته شنو. انت كان لاحظت في المنطقة. Yeah, I know he's cutting, yeah, brother, yes. Yeah, so انت كان لاحظت في جانب، لو احنا اخذناه من جانب من جانب عرقي او نقول من جانب من جوانب الاسم شنو ده. لو اخذنا كلام ده من في تداعيات عدم استقرار في المنطقه، يوري مسيفني مساهم بشكل سافر جدا. يعني he is actually contributing in a in a actually uh, in the regional instability. His engagement in Congo هو قاعد يدعم برضه في اسم شنو في M23، وده ما بسبب انه they want really stability in Congo، لكن ده كله بسبب بتاع موارد. The same thing if you look it's also in وذاته يتسبب في بروندي. على فكرة عدم استقرار برضه في بروندي هو برضه ساهم في الكلام ده. انت كان لاحظت يا هو عندنا في جنوب السودان he is also doing that. وبتاع جنوب السودان ده انا بجي اشرح كمان اكتر. ف فبسبب انه لما نحن كان جايين نتكلم في الجانب العرقي والثقافي، يوري مسيفني طبعا عندهم فكره بتاع حاجات جماعه دول دارين يعملوا السيطره بتاع انه يكون في ارقيه واحد مسيطر في شرق افريقيا ده، يخلقوا لهم مثلث اللي هم يسيطروا فيه. هو كان في يوغندا عشان بعد ذاك يجي يورث ولده he will actually come and bring his son. زي انت قاعد تشوف ولده منفلت كيف، يعني انت بتشوف انه التصرفات بتاع جنا ابوه ديكتاتوري هو ذاته طلع ديكتاتوري. شفت كيف؟ قاعد نتكلم why we are speaking like this. We are speaking like this because this is our country. We did not go and actually attack Uganda or actually ما عملنا حاجة كاب في يوغندا. even كان احنا قاعدين هناك قاعدين باحترام. شفت كيف؟ and then الناس ديل دارين يسيطروا، يعني زي الجماعة المجموعة بتاع كان ده كينيا رواندا ولا هم مجموعات بتاعهم ده، هم عايزين سيطرة. يا انتوا شايفين اللي هو بول كاغامي هناك، وبرضه هنا في يوغندا، وبرضه في كونغو هم انتوا شايفين يا M23. فهم عاملين الشغل ده، دارين يعمل سيطرة. عشان كده بنفس الاسلوب يعني عرقية واحد يسيطر في المنطقة ده بنفس الاسلوب. انت لو لاحظت انه يوري مسيفني هو عارف كويس بان يوغندا كان ضامن. Uganda was actually part of the countries that are actually guarantors for the peace 2018 agreement, peace agreement. Okay, the revitalized transitional peace agreement that we are talking about, of 2018. He is one of the guarantor. If you are a guarantor, that means you have to be neutral. You stand with everybody because basically you have to work for the benefit of this peace agreement to be implemented. Yeah, thank you. So you have to work for this peace agreement is because you are a guarantor. Being a guarantor, that's it means you don't take side with anybody. You make sure that everything, if there is any problem between the parties to the agreement, you will always see the mechanism within the agreement to solve this issue. But Yoweri Museveni is not doing this. He took side right away with Kir. And not only that, the reason أنا ذكرت كلام بتاع اسمه شنو الموضوع بتاع إرغية ده، لأنه the way he's doing, he want to create the tribal, he himself injecting the tribal بنفس المستوى بتاع كير. He himself, Yoweri Museveni, is creating the tribal fracture, standing يعني when you come and you start to bombard, as a town that this town, it's inhabited by one community, and then you're throwing a chemical or those harmful chemicals on this city, not only one city, also in Nasser, Ulang, in Akobo. The majority of people there, they are from one ethnic group. That means you are now basically declaring that you're standing with different. لأنه هو أخذ كير بنفس المفهوم بتاع Yoweri Museveni. He took this thing tribally, and he's doing this by purpose. Yoweri Museveni is doing this by purpose. so he can create more division in Republic of South Sudan. So there will be a serious disagreement now between two communities in South Sudan. Like basically as if he took side with one community. This is what he's doing. And then attacking one community in a different region and in those counties. This is actually a very serious and significant uh, you know uh, uh, point here that we have to be careful of. Uma Fade. And if you listen to how they are behaving and how they are talking, especially his son, the way he looking at this thing, how he's threatening, for instance, Dr. Riak, sometimes he's, talking in a tribal manner. This thing is actually meant to happen, so then we will be fragile more instead of somebody to come and intervene as a peacekeeper. So Yuri Museveni with his SSPDF in South Sudan, they are not peacekeepers, they are missionaries. Huma Murtazaga, Huma ma peacekeepers. The peacekeepers will not come and take side with one group. The peacekeepers will come and make stability and actually bring the calmness into the country. And from their behavior, his behavior, you will see that how he was uh, initiating all this the Rigab town. Yeah, the way even uh, the forces were brought in and everything, and we have seen the parade of guns Shailinu. And by the way, majority, if you see, remember one of the videos, if some of you were seeing Galiahet, now the Ugandan UPDF are going back to Uganda. No, those cars and plus those forces who are going back, those are the forces that are being sent to actually pass the weapon to go to Janjawid. Da itu lazim taarif kalamna. So now Uganda, as I say, Yuri Museveni, because we are not against the people of Uganda. We are talking about the regime itself, the way they are behaving. They are not now engaging only in South Sudan. They are also going up to the northern Sudan. That's why if you hear when Yasser al-Attah was threatening South Sudan and Central Africa and Chad, those three countries, because those weapons that you have seen, some of them are not going to Nasser. The Nasser incident is just a camouflage to show you that, because South Sudan is under arm embargo. South Sudan is under arm embargo. Okay. But yet, the Uganda is a passing area for those weapons to be actually delivered to Janjaweed. As we said before, you have seen what the Emirate actually did in northern Bar Ghazal, that Powell, hospital there. This is actually some of the bribery as well, because who's actually if you want to talk, who's actually in sponsoring this war in South Sudan is Emirate, because Emirate is also giving something to Uganda and also Kenya as well, although they will deny, but we all know. And in South Sudan, Bolmel think that he actually has brought something good to us. No, Emirate cannot be a good country for us, because not basically because I guru shall be jibu hinaka shan guru shi mawjud bijibu. No, we have to think about the integrity and also national security of our country, because this thing is very serious. So, and now if you see how this thing is working, how Museveni is working, it's actually creating this regional instability, and especially to us in South Sudan. And then again, this will develop into exacerbating political conflicts, conflict within our country, even in Uganda, by the way. Now we can see also so many voices who are against the move of Yoweri Museveni and his son to South Sudan, because the way, like sometime last week I showed you the video of one gentleman. He was talking, I don't know if from which party he is or whatever organization. He was talking about the way Museveni intervened in South Sudan was not correct, and even his when Raila Odinga came to South Sudan, the way he was, they were referred to him that he should go and see or meet uh, uh, Museveni first if you want to meet Kir, I mean Victoria. So this is actually how many people. Yeah, yeah, he's from UP. Yeah, UPC in opposition. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, brother. So this is very serious, my brothers and sisters. And so why? And I will show you later also the motive behind this. So some of us, some South Sudanese, they are dancing, Bazad supporters with the regime. They are dancing happy with what happened and so on. And your brothers and sisters are being bombarded in Nasir, and you think in Nasir Ulang and Okobo, and you think this is something good. Oh, Allah, Khalia Mulu, Ashan fi Asakir Bitana Katalo, Ashan fi David Majur Katalo. David Majur is a general. The army, when they go any place, Mukin Bektulu, if they really care about David Majur, Nas Bita Hakuma then, because those are the same people who actually eliminated nas Hakuma Desert, nas regime Bita Kirde, nas Bolmel, Manaskir, nas Polngang, Macholton, Kulu. This is a stage for the Victoria actually. Lanu hum aslan humma darini dammuru ittifaqiyya. So for you to believe, girl, David Majur was killed by the White Army or by Ayo, this is all illusion and this is all lie. David Majur was sick some time back. The guy has diabetic. He's a diabetic person. I mean, patient. He asked for sick leave. He want to leave. Ashanu aya under him shuf, just to check himself. Why you did not allow him? If you all of you to come that the Hebu, if you all of you love this general, why you did not allow him to go? Why you did not allow him to go that time? So the killing of David Majur is an stage that was created, planned perfectly, so then can actually become like a trap for Victoria and his movement, the agreement, and whatever you guys are saying, the kullu khalago. Because if they are saying, yeah, Hashan Katolo, General Bitana, Kirgal, my general was killed, according to what also like narration of Honorable Raila Odinga, when he said that because my general was killed. The same thing, why this general was killed, and why the White Army actually stormed the garrison. They don't talk about it. They don't tell you that David Majur himself eliminated the leader of the White Army, and they slaughtered his head out. And the head was actually hang over the fence of the the garrison. They will not tell you this. And along together with those people who were killed with this head of the White Army, 24 by the same general David Majur. But Bolmel will not tell you this. Michael McCoy will not tell you this. But they only have their own version. That's why they block Victoria not to speak anything, not to do anything in the media, but they want their narrative to go. That's why you see all the supporters of this regime, they are talking the same narrative. And I'm surprised even some of the sour some of the sour opposition, they're speaking the same language. Instead, they're supposed to speak the same language with the IO, because you're in the government, but you're opposition. The opposition supposed to stand together as one entity, but yet those opposition al-masha hinagda kulu dakhalu fi jeba, except IO. They are the one at least talking, doing something. They are actually moving something, moving a political move in the country. There is a discussion going, there is something going. And beside that, we can also say Dr. Lama Call, which is the NDM. Sometimes they are writing report here and there, or sometimes they are doing some of their writing evaluation for this. But the rest talk about Hussein Abdul Bagi, Dr. Costello Garang, Joseph and Lagu, all these people, those kulu dakhalu fi jeb bita munu, bita SPLM. IG ما عندهم اي حاجه، ما في opposition هناك، ما وصلوا معروف. normally في حكومه في بكون في داخل الحكومه في opposition. Today if two parties يعني كده, let's take the example of what happened in America for instance. After the election, those who lose the election, now they will come opposition within the government, inside the parliament. And when there is any bills that brought to or brought into the parliament, what they will do, the opposition will always vote against it. Against, they will always vote against this motion. Why? Because if they see this bill is not actually for the favor of the agenda or to the country, they will vote against it. But in our case, in Republic of South Sudan, the IO was the only opposition that was there to even vote against the national security bills. But the rest, they went with it. كلهم مع ناس بتاع حكومة. You see, بتاع SPLM IG. And this is to tell you that this is a tragedy if a politician who claimed that he was fighting for reform, and then when as soon as they went in, they got position, they are not talking about reform anymore. They're just busy, they are being not squeezed, they are now compromised, not even compromised, willingly. As if they are saying, this is not politics. They all basically so now telling you this, your people are being bombarded, killed there by a foreign aircraft, killing your own people there. And those people who are killed there, they are from one ethnic group in that place. And the person who is doing this, he knows 100% the dynamic of the tribal and political situation in the country, but yet he's doing more flame. What this is supposed to be for you? For you, what is it? It's basically to inject more tribal division in the country. And this tribal division, so South Sudan can fall into more tribalism, and then we start to break away. Each group now bitalib. Lano Yuri Museveni politically win division. He wants now, if South Sudan divide, lano in division, he want to cut Equatoria. You couldn't level. That's more kalam the quest. He want Equatoria to become part of them. لأنه هدف بتاعنا ده كله عشان بعد كده أي جزء ده يمشي مع ده منطقة ده يمشي مع ده سياسة خطيرة جدا. And you people need to also study this. ما بس نقعد كده والله يا جدع كده. No. We have to think critically. لأنه if he knows the dynamic, the tribal dynamic and political dynamic in our country, and yet he will bring his gunship to kill people tribally, he knows that now he's actually fueling more. He's not coming to actually bring the calmness to the country. And he called himself that as what? He's calling himself that girl. He's one of the grantor. He's not. His forces are not coming to South Sudan as a peacekeeper. Those Ugandan who are talking sometime in the media saying that, oh, our forces are there as a peacekeeping. No. You are not peacekeeping. You are missionaries. You are being paid to come and actually commit crimes against humanity in our country. And we will also actually held Yuri Museveni and Silva Care responsible for war crimes in our country, because killing our people and what Kir is doing is actually is a treason. الحاجة الكير قاعد يعمله ده خيانة. ده خيانة عظمى. Why? لا ده خيانة. Why is it treason? Because people in any country are part of the sovereignty. Because today when you have the four armors, the four pillars of the country, of a land or a state, it started with the land itself and then the people. And it come the authorities. Well, there is no country without people. There must be people there, then you have a country. And those people will bring a regime. The regime that will bring service to them. But now, what is happening to us, what Kir is doing is actually a treason. The khayana uzma. وخيانة عظمى ده بيعمل له زول شنو بيضربوه طلقة في راسه. ده خيانة عظمى لأنه أنت you eliminating your people by hiring missionaries without consultation with the parliament. Rabbi Stam parliament, of course. And he himself in his country, when he brought these missionaries here, it's also by what? Without the consultation of the parliament. That's why some of the members of their parliament are questioning. I'm speaking because South Sudan is my country. If they are proud about Uganda, we are also proud about South Sudan. If they think that South Sudan is Silver Care, no, we want to tell you South Sudan is the people of South Sudan. They have right to speak and to express themselves. كلام ده لازم تسمعوه كويس اخواني واخواتي لانه اللي قاعد يحصل في بلد بتاعنا ده كلام خطير جدا. Yeah, and then again when we go طبعا احنا كلمنا لانه قلنا زي ده الهدف اللي قاعد يعمل كده ليه؟ لانه those regional leaders they are actually so ambitious in their country. Uganda as a country, they have small land and الارض بتاعنا كبير by the way. They are actually growing. More than 40 million, 40 million, and we are only 12 million. With this killing now, we are killing ourselves. Maybe our numbers actually has reduced even to 10. Who knows? Because if you have in 2013, you have to calculate because every 10 years, then there is a new group of generation. Okay, if you give it another 20, this is a complete full generation. Then you have a new growth of people who are now maybe educated, they went to school, they learned something, and so on, and then will replace the other generation. So let's say from 2013, we have lost about 400,000, according to the African Union reports, and even more with the time that the war did not stop. It continued until today. Now we have seen also people have killed left and right and so on. This itself is reducing our numbers. And then the neighboring countries, seeing our country is a potential, economic for them. So therefore, we need to be engaged in this political dilemma, instability, tribal wars, and everything. So there will be emerging, like you can see, there is a lot of our timber bitana. Who are those people who are taking Uganda? Museveni shakal zere. This is our resources. The same thing when they encroach into the areas in the border of Central Equatoria, and also they encroach into other areas. Not only that, you have seen Kenya as well. They have done the same. And our brothers in Tobosa land went and fight. This is a serious thing. And then you have a president who are actually not acting. Why he's not acting? Because now he has an interest with those people. He will not open his mouth. He will not open his mouth because as soon as he open his mouth بيحددوه بيعمل له elimination زي ما عملوا لناس تانيين هو ياخد نفسه في الكلام ده. So this is actually a treason اللي قاعد يحصل في المنطقة بتاعنا ده. And then again now they are waiting. يعني عندهم يعني أنا دايما أوريك إنه intention بتاعنا زي we should not be blindfold وكده. Because we voted for this country, not for other regional leaders or other countries to come and now grab here and there, and then we leave us. And then he is also describing us, and we are blue, we are this and this. They are disrespecting us just because of one individual called Silver Care. So we want to tell them South Sudan has intelligent people, well-educated people with integrity. We have professors, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have all sort of education background of people here in Republic of South Sudan. We are not all fool like Silver Care. We are not all sellers like Silver Care. We are not those who actually can sell their national integrity and security of this country. We are not. And this message should go to the people of Uganda, should understand we are not against you. You are our neighbors. You're African like us. But we want to tell you that we have educated people. We are not stupid. All this thing that is going is the same way when you have a dictator in your country, cannot let you breathe, cannot even let your opposition to breathe. It's the same way here. You see, we know this is your own musée, but you have to understand that you are also, your musée is actually interfering in our affairs, and it become a national threat. And we have to say this to you so you understand we are not against you. But when it comes to our integrity, our as a country, we have to speak up, because here our people are killed and so on. So what is happening here, my brothers and sisters? Their hope now, we continue to fight. South Sudan will reach to the level to this integration. Then Equatoria will go with them. They are hajalum there. If they have 40 millions, you only less than 12 million. The Rinyakta Equatoria MC. Ujuzu tane de shil. Sudan shil hago. They are shagol de rinya amal kida. They are sababal innu. The one they are supporting you. Ask yourself why they cannot. Why Yori Museveni cannot support the opposition. Leave alone Riek. He has his own beef with Riek. His own beef with Riek is going back to the time of Joseph Kony. The Joseph Kony with a Lord Resistance Army. Lano he wanted that time that Victoria should hand over Joseph Kony to him. But Riek was looking into the issue in a different perspective. They are Kalamda, but he will tell you that because Riek is actually he defected in 1992. This is our business. If Riek defected or not, they are the internal business. This is not your business. So the real issue beef bitaw hinama Victoria. Victoria could not hand over Joseph Kony to him. They are mushkila bita Yuri Museveni aslan. So in this regard, my brothers and sisters, so this is now become a serious thing to our integrity as a country. And then again, plundering, because the aim is not only this country, South Sudan, to become not only a fragile state, but also to de-integrated, to de-integrated to a different state, and then they will take Equatoria, because Equatoria also has a lot of resources. Taban finance Equatoria a lot of resources. The same zay Barghazal, the same zay Upper Nile. Kullu. في بترول في ذهب في يورانيوم في حاجات ده في موجود. The same thing في بارغزال برضو في نفسه حاجة في ده كله. Those people they know. كده look how their people will come and take our timber. They are looking into areas that have minerals, so then they can take. They are grabbing our lands and other territory because there is also oil there. يعني بلد ده بسبب بتاع إنه we are very rich country, we become this potential threat to ourselves as a people, leave alone to other nation or to the international peace and security. So they are higher. So basically now our resources, they will plunder our resources for their own good. So not only just taking your resources like that, but also bringing their what, their mercenaries to come and fight in our country, and then they are paid. And meanwhile, we have a useful idiot called Silva Kiir. Instead of creating a national army, he was all this time creating a tribal army. And parallel to what those of General Thomas were doing, parallel to what those of James Hus was doing, parallel to what General because they were working towards building a national army. But Kiir did not want this thing to happen. So now we are talking, this is our resources are now under threat, and these resources now become threat to us. That's why our people are killed. The way Yanekere, imagine his chief of staff was denying that they did not use chemical in Nasir and Wulang. And we are seeing our people, our children, our mothers, our daughters, those are civilian, not even white army. They are not even being touched by single those fire assets to bombard in that region. Mafi, only poor civilians. They are denying. The chief Enagatajer is denying, and then we have a video had. We have clear videos that are showing you the evidence. Not only that, we are lying. This is our land, and those are people. Now this it's now become he himself, Yoro Museveni, he's actually threatening the he's threatening the fragile peace and stability in Uganda itself, not only South Sudan, even in Uganda, because you can see also there is a lot of opposition there against this act because they know what he's doing. Because today, if you're doing this to me, destroying my country, peace of my country, killing my people, take it as a credit. Take it as a credit. You see? So that's why the wise people in Uganda, they're speaking against this. They don't want to see this. Like one of them were talking that time. And then again, this tribal issue will to control those regions. Like you see, they want to create one origin of people to control areas like in Congo and also to Burundi, and then again to Rwanda and Uganda. يعني ده افكار ده وده افكار خطير جدا. So then هم عملوا شنو؟ يعني مشاكل الكثير اللي هو when he's creating all this because اللي هو قاعد يعمل ده, like you can see, he created also instability في Burundi. وهسه he's dividing us. He's seeking for division of South Sudan into smaller parts, so then he will be able, to take the smaller state, and then he will fulfill his ambitions, to annex Equatoria to him. Can you imagine how me will actually accept myself to be annexed to a dictator like this with a crazy son in the future? This is a very fragile situation. In the future, things will turn into different picture, and that's why our people, you should be careful. People of South Sudan, those who are supporting Kir, you don't know what you're doing to yourself. What you're doing to yourself, انت ما بتعرف انت قاعد تعمل في شنو. المهم ده النقطة مهمة اللي ندير نقوله هنا في الكلام ده. Let's come to another point that is also that I'm seeing is a very important. كلام بتاع أنا طبعا ما داير أتكلم كتير لأنه في ناس بعدين بيجي يتكلم. The other thing that why Uganda also doing that, some of you maybe can remember the impact that on Uganda and Africa. Now US like Uganda currently charge a 20% tariff on US, okay? Imports and the rate of the Washington deems excessive, while 10% US tariff on Ugandan export in a lower, it could actually still impact the key sectors such as agriculture, textile, and processed goods, which rely on access to the America. Now, in this situation, with this new development in America, this will also make Uganda to increase more. And when I'm talking Uganda, the behavior of Yoweri Museveni, this will increase in South Sudan. Why now South Sudan should remain in instability? Because South Sudan is a market for Uganda. That means while we are fighting, while we have insecurity, while Kir is continuing with this, because Kir cannot live in a peaceful environment. Peaceful environment, Kir doesn't want that. That's why he doesn't want to implement the security arrangement. The security arrangement would have actually brought a national army, a national security, a national police, or national wildlife, and all those security organs will be nationalized. He doesn't want this. He wants to remain intact with those tribal militias that he called them. That's his own SSPDF. Those forces did not go through this DDR, but DDR supposed to, because it's part of the security arrangement. You see, the ceasefire and security arrangement, permanent ceasefire and security arrangement on this article number 2 in that agreement. after formation of the government. Number two is coming right away. This one they did not in the DDR. Those forces, including SSPDF, all of them supposed to go to cantonment area. Well trained. After that, they will be divided into different security organs: the army, the police, the national security, and so on. Nothing like that has happened because Kir want this thing to be maintained like that. This is one. Number two, the same way Yuri Museveni wanted this situation also to continue like that, so he will be able, to bombard us with this economic, benefit that they are getting. But now we, the people of South Sudan, do you think now we cannot even boycott those goods from a country that their president sending forces to kill us? We cannot boycott. لو احنا جينا احنا ممكن ما نشتري حاجاتهم ده. في زول بيقول لك عندنا شنو تاني؟ لا، ممكن في اي محل تاني نشيل. لانه today if you're killing our people, you're doing this to us, and you're supporting the dictator in our country. So what shall we do? We have to look otherwise. But Kir doesn't want to allow us even to have our economic independency in our country. You see, the same thing Yuri Museveni and other people in the region, because I just focused with him, they don't want this to happen. If you remember, in one of the document was moving around here in our social media in South Sudan, that Yuri Museveni is even talking about our fishes, that our fishes are immature to go to the market. Although our fishes are actually coming from the river, they are not coming from a public farm that we are farming fishes here and there. No, they are actually naturally coming from the river. How could our fishes now become immature? We in South Sudan, we're eating fish. Fish suddenly it become like that. So it's quite important, my brothers and sisters, you need to study. So those people, they don't want our economical growth. They don't want us to come independently, economically independent. They don't want us. And it was also premature for us to join the East Africa. How could you join a countries that they already have developed their, they already have their developed, what do you call it? Develop economic. They have their factories. They have their whatever. They have their goods that they are always exporting out, and then suddenly you join them. You join them, automatically you become just a market for them. This is what now Yuri Museveni is doing this to us. And you remember last time they were saying that all those checkpoints should be removed. They manual bedi order lena hina, So yeah, I got the video. So yeah, so the thing is, my brothers and sisters, you have to know now we have become the harbor of those countries, and especially Uganda, and they are actually benefiting a lot from us. Not only them, even some other countries that they have their people doing business in our country, and yet our leaders mislead us. Those politicians, if I call them leaders, I'm giving them another leverage of of whatever, but I should call them politicians. You see, because you can be also, if some people can be politicians and leaders at the same time because they're leading something, they're acting with leadership skills and so on, but others can just be politicians. Politician, you see, but it will take a leader to lead, you see. So in this regard, if even some of our people, they want to start to do their own businesses, they will always be targeted, you see, because they want certain people to have economic growth or economic independency. So now if you look at our country, are we really, we have our sovereignty? Are we in the economically independent? No. Our airspace, are we control it? No. Our borders, our integrity, border integrity, and so on. It's actually under our control, no, because the Sudan is encroaching. The Kenya also has encroached in the the area of Nadapal, in that area. The same thing, Uganda is also doing the same thing. They are also encroaching. That means we don't have our sovereignty controlling under our hands. So what's we supposed to do as a people of South Sudan? You vote for this country. You didn't vote for this country to be scattered like that by neighboring, leaders who have too much ambitions toward whatever you have in your land. You see, so they are nukta. So now that's why you have Emirates coming here, sponsoring this, this regime, and then they are also making evil deals. And then you have another one coming. Each one has his own interest. So as a country, you're supposed to have to put your interest first. They are putting their interest. What about you? You are the owner of the land. You are the owner of these resources here. What are you supposed to do? But the saddest part is that the people who are supposed to protect the nation, to protect the integrity, the resources, are the one who are actually doing this. We have gold, we have this. You don't matter. You are going to attract criminals. Ita mashi ay wallahi kida annen dana kida anna kida ita ma btamal de shogol bita samsara. The shogol bita samsara. Ita you deal with respected governments of the country, not with a small group of people, not with a small group of people. So the problem is now those countries are actually increasing. ما رئيس بتاع يوغندا ده مره قاعد يقول بانه يا اخي انه هم قال بنات بتاعهم يعني اكتف يعني بيولدوا كتير. هم عدد بتاعهم بيزيد بمعنى if they كان هم عدد بتاعهم بيزيد بمعنى هم دايرين land زياده هم دايرين resources زياده. ويتا land زياده ده إتا اقرب حاجه جنبه. land زياده ده وبثروات حاجات ده جاهز. فبالتالي اللعاب بتاعهم سلايبس بتاعهم بدا نزل. اللعاب يعني السلايبس. الناس اللي ما بيفهم كلمه ده. So ده هو المشكله الخطير في الكلام ده. المهم ده انا هتكلم باقي الناس اللي بعدين كان جو ممكن يجي يضيف افكار بتاعهم. انا بس داير اتكلم في الجانب ده. خلينا نمشي. انا هشغل في ثلاثه فيديوهات صغار كده وفي صوره انا هظهره صورتين ولا ثلاثه كده بس نمشي سريع. ناخد فيديو بتاع بول كاغامي ده كان سيف. انا خطيته هنا فيديو قصير جدا. انا دايركم انتوا تتعملوا في الفيديو ده شويه كده. وفي صورة بتاع زول أنا هوريه هنا داروا إنه الناس بتاع أيو بالذات و people of South Sudan should know, because those people who are actually behind eliminating our people and they are doing some damage, they need to be exposed. Can it have security? Can it have politician or later whatever? You need to be exposed because we don't want our country to introduce this kind of attitude. ده خطر بمعنى ما في زول تاني بيفضل بكرة. إنت ذاتك بكرة بيزول بيجيك. So this thing has to be exposed عشان ما يمشي قدام. So let's go to this video first. كنبدأ بتاع كاغامي ده.
Mercenaries are the most useless people you can meet. Yes. You can rely on. So those countries relying on mercenaries, you just know they are in trouble. They have original problems before they brought mercenaries. And when they bring mercenaries, the problems are multiplied by a big factor. It gets worse, not better.
You heard this? It's true. Exactly this example fitted to us. A country depends on mercenaries. And then you bring those mercenaries in. You already have a problem. Now you're adding another problem. This is what Kir did. جاب مرتزقة بتاع جنجويد وجاب مرتزقة بتاع يوغندا يجي يقتلوا الجنوبيين. Now you actually created a problem, more problem. شفت كيف؟ أنا وندر نقول لك كير إنت كان فاكر إنه بولميل بتاعك ده أنت جايبه ده ما هو كوبي البيست بتاعك. أنتوا فشلتوا big time. شفت كيف؟ كان نمشي لفيديو بتاع زول ده. الولد ده ويتكلم هنا ده بخصوص بتاع رايلا ودينجا.
Sorry, South
You came
Sudan, but I
across.
will trust Raila Odinga more than Salva Kiir. Anybody who detains his own VP along with the wife and the children is a petty dictator that must be ousted through any means necessary. And if the president was serious about this, he would cut all diplomatic ties with the corrupt South Sudanese regime. They cannot put an entire VP under house arrest and then they mock a peace envoy led by Raila by sending them to a neighboring country. Can you just imagine, umeamuka asubuhi, you have problems with your Safaricom SIM card. You go to customer care ya Safaricom, maybe at Junction Mall, and they tell you, bwana, hii shida yako, go to Airtel. What has Airtel got to do with this SIM card ya Safaricom? It's the same question we are wondering, what has Museveni got to do with you arresting your own vice president? That was a very big insult to the efforts of Kenya. Remember, Raila Odinga was not there on his own capacity. He is a peace envoy from Kenya, meaning he's there on the mandate of the president. Hiyo madharau si kwa Raila peke yake, inarudi pia kwa rais, inarudi pia kwa Wakenya, na inarudi pia kwa wale supporters wa the vice president. Unless Salva Kiir is such a weak leader that he also takes orders from a third world country like Uganda. Sisemi Uganda they are not doing well. We are all third world countries. We are trying to improve ourselves. Sasa wewe unachukua directive from somebody who's just like you. That was very shameful. The South Sudanese government should be issuing an apology to the Republic of Kenya. Failure to which we cut all diplomatic ties and economic ties. Wakae vile wataka. At the end of the day, heshima si utumwa.
When you're dealing with each country, you need to study those countries, their attitude towards things. Kenyan, ده حاجة لا نقدر نقول لناس تجوبة ده. Kenya, when it comes to their internal problem, they know how to solve it. They know how to, to observe everything, and then that's it. When they have their own disagreement outside, but when they go outside, they actually care much about the integrity of their country. And when they do any deals, they also want the benefit, even if for that diplomatic person, because they're actually advertising for that diplomatic person by his character, his attitude when he's doing things. And then whatever he's doing, the result should also not come to him, but also to the country itself. So that's why people like Nasal Fujubada, you need to study your neighbors. You don't act with them the way to act with Sudan. You need to study your own and categorize all those countries based on what? Hostile friend or hostile neighbor, friendly country, unfriendly, or strategic allies. There is a strategic and friendly. Those two are different. So Kiir, according to him, he's actually working with Yoweri Museveni, So those people, you need to understand, السياسيين الكينيين هم لما بيختلفوا جوا، اختلافهم في جوا هم بيختلفوا، وهم بيعرفوا انه يحلوا مشاكلهم الداخلية كيف. بعد ما هم يعملوا compromises جوا، لما يكون في أي حاجة حراك دبلوماسي برا، كلام ده نقوله بعربي، هم بيخطوا اتنين حاجة، integrity بتاع زول ده، التحرك بتاع زول ده، وintegrity بتاع بلد. أي حاجة هو بيعمل لازم يجيب فايدة، سمعة للدولة وسمعة حتى لو هم يا قرب. على فكرة هم دولة غبلي، هم غبلين وأي حاجة، لكن هم بيعرفوا إنه يحلوا قضاياهم. أنتوا شفتوا اللي حصل كان في 2007 ولا هو 2007 2008. أنتوا شفتوا اللي حصل قريب ده كان لما الانتخابات بتاع شنو بتاع روتو يا هم رايلا اودينغا، اصله معروف بانه روتو ما نجح، لكن شنو في النهايه رايلا اودينغا هو حرك الشارع. شفت كيف حرك الشارع وشنو الكلام ده، جاب كم مشي مراحل، لكن وصلوا في النهايه لاندرستاندينج. ديل عندهم culture ده، انت you study this country and then you work with them based مع understanding بتاعهم. بعد ذاك تاخد interest بتاعك اول. انت بتتعامل زي ده، انت ما بتتعامل بس شغل بتاع هم بتسايب بتاع الوكات وبتاع بوندو ده، ما بيشتغل زي ده في البوليتيك ده، في دبلوماتيك ارينا ما بيشتغل زي ده. اصل شغل الناس كيرا ده شغل بتاع سلاطين وزول بتاع الوقت بس وكده. اللي هم عملوا زول ده رايلا اودينغا من جاي، الناس كلهم كينين ده عارفين بانه زول ده جاي وما كان جاي براه. So that's why انت لما تشوف انه واحد منهم بس يجي يتكلم، كلهم بيتكلم بدافع عن زولهم ده. هسه كده هم يا ناسي عشان كده انا قلت this is a diplomatic failure. وباي ذا واي انا داير نقول لناس كيرو شنو لسه لحد هسه في حاجات بتاعكم عملتوا لي دكتورياك وهي دكتورياك 6 وانتو 0. Diplomatically you guys have failed. Riak has exercised tolerance, patience. لانه هو عارف بانه الدور ده انا كان عملت حاجه كل مره بيقولوا لي انا يا غلطان، وداير يشوف دور ده شنو بيجي من وين. ده يا هو الحاجه الحاصل. قدرنا نمشي نشوف كمان ده هنا يوغندا يا قاعد يتكلم وفي فيديو المره اللي فاتت انا شغلت كده اسمه ده.
The people of South Sudan are very brilliant people. They have a lot of resources in there, but because the leaders have chosen conflict, they have chosen fight, they have chosen to fight, they have chosen all the time to be at loggerheads. Their countrymen, their citizens are always refugees in other countries. If you go to Nairobi, you find South Sudanese who are there because they are searching for peace. If you come to Uganda here and all parts of the country, you find citizens of South Sudan searching for peace. So if the leaders mean well for the country, they should accept to talk.
They will talk about our misery and everything, but they will not forget to mention that we are a rich country. They were rich, more in them ambitions towards our country. So conversation kullu, they feel pity with our misery and whatever. Lakin ما بينسوا إنه يذكروا بأنه is very rich country. لأنه قلوبهم كله هنا. لأنه ثروات اللي عندنا ده ما شاء الله. بعد كونغو احنا دولة في إيست أفريقيا هنا وفي أفريقيا أغنى دولة. بعد يعني قول ليش شنو ده في إيست أفريقيا بالذات. كونغو وبعد ده احنا. كونغو وبعد ده احنا دلتا واحد. شفت كيف؟ في غنى يعني عشان أوريك إنه ليه كونغو ليه يوم الليلة ما عنده سلام. ده نفس حاجة هسه الجنوب ما عنده سلام ده بسبب لأنه ما قال بس عشان اسمه شنو ده يعني عندنا ثروات، لكن لأنه عندنا قيادة فاشلة. قيادة فاشلة أي زول أنت ما خليت بابك بس زي زريبة كده، زي زريبة بتاع حيوانات. ده أول حاجة الحاصل. فأنت كان سمعت حتى يعني أسدل كلهم هم بيتكلموا يلا هنا ناس زي شغالين، ناس جنوبيين ديل شغالين الزول بتاع ناشونال سكيورتي والله في كم نفر كده ديفكت وده ديفكت يعني شغالين شغل قطاعي. ده شغل شنو ده ما بيجيب حاجه بدل انت تنفذ الاتفاقيه. ده نقطه كده. نقدر نمشي في النقطه الثانيه السريع كده وبعد كده انا بيجي ده بتاع بتاع يو اس. انتوا طبعا سمعتوا انه يو اس has revoked all the visas الجنوبيين كان عندهم والزادوا visas اللي عملوا application له كله عملوا ريفوك عملوا كانسل. ده بسبب شنو؟ لانه ده نفس الفكره بتاع شنو. طبعا الناس النظام بتاع يوبا قال دارين يتصرفوا زي الناس مكسيكو عملوا مع باقي الدول اللي رفضوا انه يشيلوا رعايه بتاعهم. انت الدوله قاعده تعتمد ليو اس في اي حاجه دونيشن وات ايفر. انت تقدر تقوي نفسك، انت تقدر تقوي قسمك لشنو؟ شيل ناسك ده استقبلهم ما هم الجنوبيين في النهايه خليجوا يرجعوا اللي هو 136 نفر اللي كان دارين يرحلوا. جنوب رفض طوال يو اس عمل كده. This is what US did.
Breaking news. The United States has revoked all visas held by South Sudanese passport holders. It has also canceled all visa appointments, blocked any new visas from being issued, and prohibited anyone from South Sudan from entering the United States. Why? Well, South Sudan's transitional government refused to accept the return of its repatriated citizens in a timely manner, and U.S. efforts to engage diplomatically were rebuffed. Let this serve as a warning to any other country thinking about not accepting the return of its citizens when the U.S. needs to deport them. I'm Joseph Bovino, America First immigration and business attorney based in Miami and serving clients worldwide. Follow for more.
failure. It don't follow the step متى دول تانيين كان دولة تانية رفض دولة داك بيكون عنده كريد ضغط لأمريكا، لكن انت ما عندك كريد بتاع ضغط. انت basically you are consumer. ما that's why أنا قاعد أقول شنو that's why أنا قاعد أقول إنه شنو أنا as a country we need to know with whom we are dealing. The attitude of that country. Attitude بتاع country ده شنو زي أنا قلت attitude بتاع Kenyan. How do they portray themselves outside? الكلام أنا قلت قبل شوي. That's exactly this what I'm saying. You know that with US ilaga بتاعك ما بيقى تمام. انت they don't ما عنده حاجه ليك، انت ما عندك حاجه لهم، لانه في هم عندهم حاجه ليك، انت ما عندك حاجه لهم، لانه في النهايه هم ذاته يا قاعدين يديك اكل، هم بيديك حاجات كتير دونيشن والى اخره. انت تقوم تعمل نفسك راسك قوي، انا ما بشيل ناس ده ورا، وقول الحمد لله ناس دي بسيطين، 136 ده بسيطين، خليهم يرجعوا على الاقل، يعني انت ترجع جزء منهم وكده. لكن انت رفضت ودرت قوي راسك. دول تانيين الرفضوا، those other countries who refuse to take their citizens who have been deported, they want to be deported back to South Sudan, they have some cards against US. كان ولا in economic thing ولا كان ده business بتاعهم هناك، ده تاي بتاعهم ده عندهم، لكن you don't have anything. انت basically you're beggar. انت معتمد اي حاجه قاعدين يجيبوا لك. فانت your attitude should actually determine by the attitude of country انت قاعد تعمل معه ده. انت قاعد تعمل ده based on what? Think twice. يبقى انت قول لنا انا ريبل نفهم، عندنا مخ، ما احنا احنا عايشين في الدنيا ده واحنا شايفين. So and then the other thing, the other point that I actually want to, this is about this picture. This picture طبعا ناس تانيين عندهم interpretation بتاعهم براو يوضح كيف. انا عندي انا عندي نظرة بتاعي مختلف في في الصور ده. نبدأ بالصورة بتاع اسمه شنو، بتاع سيلفا كير مع يوري موسيفني. في ده أول، ده هنا أجرى ميار ولد بتاع كير، ده ولد بتاع ين ميار، ده الولد ده ولد العرس اسمه شنو ده، بنية بتاع ده فورما تشيف سانتينو دين. تو كان سميته بأنه في كان في قبل سنة ولا دي كانوا سنة وحاجة، في قال ولد بتاع كير جاب عيال، مرة بتاع ولد ده جاب عيال توأم 4، يعني 2 4 you know. ده ولد ده ميار ده يلا عندك تيك بهناك. طبعا ما تشوف على فكرة هم عندهم حساسيات طبعا، يندي الدار ولده كمان يكون يسهر، لأنه كل شوية تيك يا قاعدين يجيبوا ده لازم تعرف هنا. طبعا ميار ده انتو كان سميته كان في باسبورت اللي كان خطوه بين son of president. ده son of the president now. occupation son of the president. So ولد الجنبو كير ده هو شنو ده ولد بتاع يندي ميار ده ولد عرس يجري ده بنية بتاع chief of staff. ما انا قاعد اقول لكم ده حكومة بتاع أسرة، حكومة بتاع concubines، حكومة بتاع نسيبات وكده. so ده ميار ده انت شايفه ده اهو. طبعا عيان عشان تيك ده أمه من بور، تو كان سميته أمه جول، أمه من بور، المرة اللي كان مات في يجي ده في إيسترن إكواتوريا زمن فترة بتاع زمن داك بتاع هارب داك دفنوه هناك. so yeah so كير طبعا جاب ولده ده، ولد ده قاعد كان في أستراليا، هم كلهم ذاته كان هناك. ده تيجي قاعد يسهر أيام دي طبعا ده بيت ولده كمان يسهر، لأنه بيجا خايف الشغل ده بيجا ده هيكون فيه وراثة والكلام الكتير ده. so just to, you know, to let you know للناس اللي كان ما يعرفوا إنه ولد ده منو ده ميار. yeah so ميار سيلفا كير ميار ديت ده ولده. يلا تعال هنا بردك وين أنا خطيته، هاي الصورة دي حطيتها مرتين. اوكي انا اشيله برا. اوكي يلا تاني هنا الصورة ده نشيله برا. هنا ده الصورة اللي انا دايرة تتأملوا فيه كتير. ده صورة انت كان شفتها هنا بولميل واسم شنو سيلفا كير وموسيفني. صورة ده شوية زي ما أنا كتبت حاجة في تويتر. أنا كتبت حاجة وأنا كنت قاعد أسأل، وده حاجة إحنا جنوبين الصور بقى البيكتشر بقى بيكون لنا بقى واضح كتير. I said, my people of South Sudan, what does it reflect by removing the photo of Dr. John Garang and replace it by the photo of Ugandan President Museveni? It's not enough just to put a Ugandan flag. Can we say that the people who took the life of Dr. John Garang are now obvious in this picture? تعرف الانبطاح الكير وقع فيه ده حاجة اللي احنا للجنوبيين نعرف. ما هو جون جرنج مات خلاص، لكن احنا لازم نعرف برضه هم هو مات كيف وقتلوا كيف. لكن في الصورة ده أنا قاعد أخد إنه كير ما يوري مسافني هم they are behind the elimination of Dr. جون جرنج. ده كلام أنا مسؤول منه، لأنه بروتوكوليا ما في حاجة اللي بيخلي إنه صورة بتاع كير بكون قاعد هناك إلا يخطوا صورة بتاع يوري مسافني. Yuri Museveni is not a president of South Sudan, although we know that he's manipulating Kir and whatever. He's not a president of South Sudan. He's our neighbor. He's a counter part two to Kir. Some of you can remember the last place that Dr. John Garang traveled from. It was from Uganda, from Entebbe. وسافر يوم شواقة بطيارة بتاعنا. The question is why the investigation did not continue, and why the picture of Yuri Museveni has to be there instead of the picture of late Dr. John Garang. And it's very clear also, as I said before, the elimination of Dr. John Garang now can give access to Yuri Museveni to manipulate a weak leader like Kir. So that's why he's doing whatever he's doing. And then you have to understand, my brother and sister, when he came, his visit, طبعا كلام الرئيل مش يتكلم له. يوري مسيفني شاف حاجة ده جاب يعني is backfire on him. بمعنى إنه he's the one behind of the arrest of Dr. Riak. And he's giving this advice, although they're calling him girl, he's a mediator here. Like in his attitude and whatever he's doing, especially when he took side with Kir, he's no longer a mediator. And his forces that came to South Sudan, those are missionaries. Those are not peacekeepers, because they absolutely came and took side, eliminating one community. This is something that we have to put across. That place where the picture of Yuri Museveni was put, this place belonged to Dr. John Garang, late Dr. John Garang, may his soul rest in peace. So when we study, أنا بحب بقرأ صور. Kir standing there, Bolmel is so happy because I think that he's very close to that position. أنا ما أقدر نقول أي حاجة في كلام بتاع بولميل ده، أنا بسكت كده، لأن يومين ده إحنا ذاتنا ما قادرين نتكلم، لأنهم بيجوا هنا أصلا قاعدين هم كتار هنا، they want to hear what we are saying عشان هم يشيلوا كلام ويمشي ينفذوه يعملوا فيه حاجات بتاعهم. أنا بيجينا أصلا ما قاعد نعمل حاجات ده. So it's showing here that absolutely Kir is being compromised to next level, and Kir قدام بتاع يوري مسيفني he's nothing. هو بس governor بتاع South Sudan. He's not even anything. Governor بس. ورئيس بقى يا يوري مسيفني. هنا شوف الصورة ده صورة قديم شوية، ليه كان فترة لما هو كان ماشي هناك. شوف هنا كير is saluting. ده كان في زمن بتاع توماينة ولا كان ده بتاع شنو أنا ما أعرف. Yeah. So إنت كان عينت هنا عين كويس. طبعا الناس اللي هنا قاعدين يدافعوا عن كير إنه ما في evidence وما في evidence يا زول. طيارة بتاع جون جرانج ده ما وقع ساكت. طيارة بتاع جون جرانج ده ما وقع ساكت. في كلام قالوا غازي سليمان. بينو الكيزان كان يقول هاي خلوا بالكم من زولكم ده هيودوا لأنه كان جامع المعلومات بإنه some people are going after Gereng. And by the way, when Gereng died, his plane crashed. For those who don't know, those of Kir were celebrating. Some of those leaders, they were celebrating and toasting champagne. في جوبا وزع حلاوات, they distributed some sweets. حلاوات وبلا هم وزعوا لما Gereng مات. وكير ده ما بعيد من كلامنا. كلام الربيكا نياندين قالوا في بيكا بتاع ديفيد موجور ده امشي اقعد اسمع كلام الربيكا نياندين قالوا ده واضح جدا. ليه انه انفستيجيشن ده وقفوه ما دارين يواصلوا بيه؟ ليه وقفوه؟ ليه مش زمن ده هو يا بتاع اجنا بتاع الاداره؟ ليه هو ما يتكلم في كلام ده بتاع اسم شنو ده؟ بقول له شنو الاداره اللي هو بتاع اداره داخليه؟ ليه هو ما يتكلم؟ ما ليه ما واصلوا في كلامنا؟ ده كله مخططات. واحنا عارفين كثير جرينغو is not the first leader. By the way, he's not the first leader اللي حصل له في الكلام ده. مو ما first leaders، في leaders كثير حصل لهم الكلام ده. وفي even leaders بتاع اللي هو South Sudanese other leaders ثانيين اللي برضه been assassinated and also eliminated in this region. كان ده في يوغندا، كان في وين أنا كله بعرف في أثيوبيا وفي يوغندا وحتى في كينيا. ده في شغل زي ده ماشي. so كده شوفي كير في زمن داك ده في نيروبي تقريبا ولا كان ده وين؟ شوفوا قاعد يهيئ في يوري مسافني. الله يلاقيني يا جماعة، بس عين في الصورة ده. الله يلاقيني. ده نقطة مهم أنا داير نقول لكم هنا. ده ناس صورة اللي أنا جايب هسه ده واحد اسمه نابليون هداك جاي، هو زول ده في جهاز. أنا الصورة اللي جاي نشغله هسه ده الجنوبيين كله يشوفوا كلام أنا مسؤول من كلام أنا بقوله ده. وأنا داير إنه نابليون هداك جاي ولازم يعرف كلام ده في جهاز. والسياسيين اللي في جنوب السودان ده انتوا لازم تسمعوا كلامنا. اللي هو نابليون ده من ليك ستيت، وانا ما همشي كتير هنا. هو زول المسؤول من فابريكيشن بتاع voices اللي عملوا ريكوردينج، لانه the evidence that according to our reliable source evidence اللي هم قاعدين يقولوا بانه we have evidence the arresting دكتور رياك ما برضو بودكام وشنو ده كله كده conversation بتاع بودكام وبرضو conversation بتاع دكتور رياك ما عنده اي حاجه عنده علاقه بناصر ولا احداث بتاع ناصر، ما في حاجه. لكن زول ده this guy here في صوره بتاعنا I will show 3 pictures of him وناس جنوبين لازم يعرف كلامنا. وانت يا نابليون that guy you need to stop what you're doing. You need to stop because انت كنت شغال، انت كنت في مين 2016 انت عندك multiple data بتاع جنوب السودان لما خطوك انت اشتغلت بالساوث سودان انترناشونال جيتوي. انت زول عندك داتا بتاع سياسيين بتاع دولة وكلام ده خطير جدا، بمعنى انت you can manipulate you can do whatever you want. انت زول بتاع IT قبل كده انت عملت كورس بتاعك في UK. You need to know what you're doing is very dangerous and one day will backfire on you. And if you think you can manipulate حاجات ده in order for Dr. and whoever other politician can be eliminated, you have to know that you need to be exposed and this thing will also backfire on you. وده حاجة ده بمشي لأي زول بما فيه انت ديفيد كوماري. لكن لكن نركز مع اسمه شنو ديفيد صلاح كوماري كنا أوريك برضه كلام زول العمل manipulation بتاع document أمين بتاع اسمه شنو ده voices، لأنه الحاجات اللي احنا بنعرف في حاجات في conversation بتاع الناس دكتوريا ما في evidence بأنه there was a direct conversation هم قاعدين يتصلوا مع الناس دي although هم كانوا قاعدين يعملوا recording. ما في evidence. There is no evidence. Voices, حتى voices بتاع بودكام ده ونصات عادية. voice بتاع دكتوريا ونصات عادية ما عنده أي علاقة ولا عنده involvement بتاعهم في حاجات بتاع ناصر. So basically حاجات اللي هم عملوا ده كله بس إنه to set up دكتوريا. زول الشغال manipulation بتاع IA اللي هو artificial intelligence وحاجة ده هم يقالوا هم عملوا لبقانا مومباي ده وي. هم هسه يومين ده وقفوا كان هم دارين يعملوا لنا لكن for some reason هم وقفوا وانا عارفين زي وانا دار نقول كلام ده لبولميل انتوا لا انا ده شغلكم كلكم ما ناس غرغوري ما ناس منو ده. we want to tell you that حاجات ده احنا عارفينه ودكتوريات ما عمل اي حاجه ونابليون انت يا شغال شغل ده multiple accounts politician اللي انتوا جوا هناك ده كان انتوا opposition ولا شنو هم كله عنده داتاس بتاعهم. So ده أزول ده صورة بتاع الواحد قديم ده نابليون ده لما كان بدري لسه لسه كان شوية غبوشي بعدك في هنا برضو ده أزول behind اللي هو AI artificial intelligence voices بتاعنا الدكتوريات ده هو manipulate حاجات تانيين بس to set up عشان له زول بتاع IT. هو طبعا من 2016 موجود هناك وكده وده الناس ذاته السبب في اجى بتاع مشن. طبعا هو يفتكر انه كان شالوا اسمه منو ده كان شالوا زول اسمه جنرال اقول هو يا كان هيجي في اسم شنو في محل بتاع بولميل. طبعا هم كان خايفين انه اقول كان قاعد فتره كان اجى ده شهرين هو كان he will be able to take power. فهم اشتغلوا شغلهم لموا طبعا اقول عنده اداء كتار يشتغلوا فيه في اي جزء اي طرف شغال. في عندك ناس غرغوري بجاي انت عندك ناس اللي طبعا عنده حسابات بتاعه براه هناك عندك نيال لما جاب نسيب تجوه هناك جاب ناس دانيال ناس مديد جابهم كله هناك. زول ده يفتكر بانه كان اقول كوربيجا ما في الساحه هو يزول هيجي يجيبوه في محل بتاع ونيجا ده. لكن للاسف يا هو سوى اخر هو شغال ده شغل هو من ليك ستيت اسمه نابليون. that guy he's the one who's making all those fake fabricated voices حتى بتاع بقانا موم ده وما بعيد من كلام ده كله برضه هو عمله الفويس ده. زول ده يا ده صورة بتاعه تشوفوه بشكل صور مختلف. ده ممكن ده بيكون أوضح عشان تشوف وشه دغري وفي جوبا زول تسكيريتي يا ده هو ده شكله تشوفوه كويس. ده زول العمل أو أجد voice. This is the guy that actually recorded some of the voices of those of Victoria, Podcast, and some other IO individual. By the way, those voices from the onset has nothing to do with the issue of Nasser. There's normal conversation, but somehow they manipulate because he's an IT guy. He's working with security. He now made the AI اللي هو artificial intelligence. artificial intelligence ده ممكن يجيب صوت بتاع تريسا بيتكلم تصدق بانه ده تريسا. يا هم جاوا يعني بيزيدوا حاجات يعني زي بتاع بقانا مومنا ده الحاجة الحاصل. So yeah, he's working with Wani. He's working with national security. This is the guy اللي هو لخبط حاجات ده كله هسه الناس دكتوريات ده قاعدين لما نكير يتكلم بانه يا اخي we have Kiriak has to go through the investigation. After investigation that we will now allow him to go. ما في حاجة there to be investigated. Dr. Riak doesn't have anything. في audios اللي بيقول عندنا evidence ده كله كده. ده أزول ده master mind والناس أنتوا لازم تعرفوا ده أزول ده. والجنوبيين أنتوا لازم تعرفوا. politician في جنوب السودان اللي عندكم تبقى عند قاعدين هناك عندكم hope بانه في تغييرات وحاجات هيحصل، ده زول ده وعنده داتا بتاعهم كله من 2016 داتا ديل، لانه يشتغل بياو كان مع نسا سودان انترناشونال لاجنا جيت واي، عنده داتا بتاع سياسيين بتاع you know some important people. فهو ده هو شغل، هو this is a guy who actually mess up everything. يا هو شنو ده، هم طبعا هيجي نط فوق بعدين هيعملوا كده. هم يا شغالين حتى they are creating so many accounts fake accounts في فيسبوك، في كلاب هاوس هنا، برضه في تيك توك. ده الاكونت مثلا كان انت if you post something and then you will see those account they have zero followers and then those account بيجاي انه بيكتب لك يزول ده بيكتب لك حاجه بيكتب لك حاجه، ده شغل هو شغال فيه عشان انتوا لازم تعرفوا كلامنا. so يلا يوري مسيفني في زياره بتاعه اللي هو جا هسه حاليا ده، طبعا هو يتسبب انه وعمل قطراس، يعني بيزيكلي وعمل قطراس انه ناس ديل ما يجي يقابلوا اي ده يعني ما يقابل الدكتور ياك. نازل جو مفروض نازل يقابل الدكتور ياك اللي هو الجو بانل اوف فويس، مفروض هم اصلا يقابلوا كير اول، لكن يوري مسيفني مسك كير. طبعا هو نام هناك زي ما انتوا كان شفتوا، ونام هناك قاعد. لما الجماعه دي قال يا هم دارين يقابلوا دارين اسمه كير وكده، اخونا عمل هناك بلوكج. ما تنسوا انه دكتورياك، وانا در نهاية دكتورياك من هنا. دكتورياك لما يوري مسيفني كان بيقى في ميتنج مع كير كان قال هو داري يقابل لاجنة، خلي رياك يجي يقابلهم كده. دكتورياك رفض. رياك has refused refused to meet him. So why should I meet you? So الناس زي شغالين possibility، لانه ولد بتاع يوري مسيفني ماشي في ساوث افريكا، الظاهر هم دارين يعملوا نفس الحاجة، انه ممكن عشان يرحلوا دكتورياك وكده من هنا. طبعا ده انا بس قاعد اتكهن كده لانه ولده ماشي كان في ساوث افريكا اللي هو موهوزي. so ممكن هم دارين يعملوا زي possibility. طبعا by the way هم دارين actually they want to eliminate دكتورياك بأي طريقة. هسه أنجلينا تانيا قاعد يطبخ للدكتورياك. so message بتاع ريبيكا أمين أنجلينا تاني عندنا نقول لك اي خضار اي حاجه قاعد يدخل فيه هناك ده you have to be careful. make sure انه اكل ده ما عمل فيه، لانه they want to even they will poison him وخلوه بعدين ممكن ما يموت هسه ممكن وقت تاني. but it's good that you're the one who are doing the cooking which is good. just to make sure انه حاجات اللي يجي ده then reliable people are the one bringing those food in for you to come and cook، لانه ده هدف بتاع الجماعه ده. نازل طبعا I just want to tell كير بولميل مع ناس تشولتون مع ناس أتنيويك مع نازل كله اللي كانوا عاملين باناروما بتاع بروباغندا في بيكا بتاع ديفيد ماجور. I just want to tell you if you eliminate dictatorial you will have thousands of dictatorial. It's better for you people not to introduce this kind of attitude of eliminating leaders. Because if you eliminate Dr. Riak, you have to know that you also the next person, the same thing will be done to you. You're actually introducing a new phenomenon in this country. Although you already started it long time ago, you have eliminated so many people. But you need to be reminded. If you think that you will eliminate, for instance, Dr. Riak, because we know that it's not only about Dr. Riak now. It's about us all. كلنا. بمعنى for you think that to have an opposition in the country, it has to be eliminated. So, what do you think, yani? You think that you deserve to live? You deserve to live. Kanita Bolmen, Oleta Cholton, Oleta Atenwek, Oleta Silvakir, Oleta Mono. Why do you deserve to live then? If you think that Victoria has to be eliminated. And if you're talking about investigation, he need to be investigated and then sent to court. Which court? Who actually have a moral ground here to investigate Victoria Forest? You, President Kiir, your authorities. Which authority? Do you have a court? If the citizen of Republic of South Sudan don't trust the judiciary in the country, they are now opening cases in East Africa. Court. What's that supposed to be? It's showing that your judicial system has crashed. انتهى ما في أي حاجة. So this message has to reach to you. You have no moral ground to stand. Kanita Bolmel, you yourself, you're a criminal. You squandered the wealth of this country, all the roads of South Sudan. You squandered this money. It does not that you need investigation. If you are coming to Kir yourself, you said there is 75 official of South Sudan is squandered 4 billions. And yet you're sending them letters instead of sending them what? Warrants. This will show that you also a criminal. Not only that, the 2013, genocide that lead to 400,000 people were killed. This also will make you a potential criminal. You also need to be investigated. If comes to Cholton, you yourself, you have militias called Abu Shok. You have also committed a lot of atrocities in Upper Nile. So you yourself, you need to be investigated. Come to somebody like Atenuek. You're actually making it because you want position. Now, because Dictoriac suddenly become like an elephant that is being shut down and every individual is coming to want to cut his portion. But I want to tell you, you are the same person who actually exposed that Dr. Paul Molong went to bank at 12 o'clock to take 3 million or whatever to come and eliminate Dictoriac. And you are asking Guruj the when. This to tell you, Benu Tukulakum Harame, it if the cave Benu Paul Molong Dakhal fi bankina, Kanita Maharame Zata. You also need to be investigated. Okay? All of you. And coming to Polngang, you have failed. You as a chief of staff, you have failed. Because during your time now, our people are being killed in Nasir by who? By the missionaries with their plane. So all of you are under investigation. All of you don't have a moral ground to point finger to Dr. Riak. It's not that because Dr. Riak is innocent in some other thing. I want to make him as an angel. He has some shortcoming, but you are not the rightful people to point finger to him. And the other thing is, you need to release him. And you, Napoleon, and you, this message for you, Napoleon, stop this manipulation of AI, the artificial intelligence, manipulation with the voices of the people. Now you people, because of you, somebody like Potkang and the others who have been arrested are behind bars because of manipulation of you as an IT person. You have done that. You need to be exposed because you're playing with the data of the country. This is actually a crime. It's a violation against the personal lives of the other people. You people you don't deserve to be called as a leaders. You guys are criminal. What you guys are doing, the jaraim. It will ganta amalu the jaraim. And as for Michael McCoy al-Binadi, bitkallam katir, and Dr. Riak, kalam al-Fada, I'm not here defending Dr. Riak, but I'm putting Dr. Riak, I'm putting every South Sudanese in the shoes of Dr. Riak in this position, or the shoes of Potkang and the rest, or even Angelina thing. Because if you're doing this, you're capable to do to anybody else. I want to tell you, تتابعين عندكم مشكلة في الرأس. كثيرين منكم عندهم مشكلة دي المشكلة حقيقية. ومشكلة الحقيقية ده يعودوا دمرتوا بها بلد ده. شفت كيف؟ فالمهم المهم أنا عشان ما أقدر أطيل كتير، أنا أقدر نشغل فيه فيديو هنا ده بتاع يوري مسافني عشان أوريك ذاته. لازم شنو أشكر أخوي أستاذ النور كمبيوتر النور ده نشغل ده عشان بعد ده أنا عشان نشوف شنو. I'll stop here. نشغل ده معلش. Although it's an audio أو interview لكن we need to play عشان إحنا نعرف ذاته الكلام اللي إحنا قاعدين نتكلم عنه ده.
You're gaining something by sending your troops, interfering in the affairs of others. And we'll talk about South Sudan. Your troops have been in South Sudan in 2014 and 2015, and you have sided with the government of South Sudan, with a part of the government against the other. And you have, by that, you have prolonged the civil war of South Sudan. And
Absolutely.
thousands and thousands of people were killed, and you were fighting alongside one of the two sides. So you were actually putting more fuel to the civil war in South Sudan.
Not at all, because what happened was that when the fighting started in South Sudan, there was a regional meeting which called for a ceasefire. Nobody should continue fighting, so that we get a political solution. Now, one of the factions refused and started fighting, and was coming to Juba.
Is that enough excuse for you to send troops there?
Yes, because...
Why did you side with Salva Kiir against Riek Machar?
Because the one who broke the ceasefire was the other one.
But you're not the regional force there to impose things on the Sudanese. They are fighting each other. Why do you side with one of them? Why didn't you send your troops to keep the peace and not to fight alongside one group?
Because the other one was on the offensive.
According to you. But according to Riek Machar, he's not on the offensive.
Yeah.
According to him, he's defending
offensive
himself.
Means you are moving forward.
I mean, it's your own judgment.
No, it's not judgment.
I like this.
Dynamics on the ground. You move forward. If you observe ceasefire, you stay in one place. So he was breaking the ceasefire.
That's lie.
In order to come and attack the town.
And it is your role, Uganda, the poor country that has doesn't have enough resources for its own infrastructure, for the well-being of its own people. It is, you take it upon yourself to...
You see, this guy has said it. It's all about our resources. And he's willing for this.
Go into another country, to stabilize another country, to fight against one group against another. What kind of policy is this?
The African people...
How is this going to benefit Uganda?
We, the African people, we have been poor, but we have been defending ourselves. We defeated the whites even when we were poor, and we were helping each other. When there is somebody who is making trouble, like that Riek Machar fellow was doing, we stood with the regional opposition, which was stand still, ceasefire, don't move.
You sent your troops to Southern Sudan or South Sudan without the agreement of your parliament and without a mandate by the African Union. And that's because, according to the reports, because you have interests with Salva Kiir, because Uganda is importing and exporting goods between Uganda and South Sudan. So it's economic interests, interference. No mandate by AU, no mandate by the parliament.
Well, first of all, you can have bilateral relations between two states. Okay? Do you know anything about international law?
A little bit.
Yes, a little bit. So use that a little bit to.
If even you're coming and you call yourself you're actually a grantor. Even in international relationship, you don't do that because you're already one of a grantor of the peace agreement. Therefore, you shouldn't take side. Taking a side, that means you already broke this international law as well. This is a little bit. Again, you have failed here. You're a Museveni.
To improve your understanding. An elected
you need the agreement of, by constitution, you need the agreement of the parliament.
An elected government can have a bilateral agreement. Forget about the regional.
Yeah, but Kiir is not elected. You yourself, you're not being elected. What you're doing is just a stage election.
Even bilateral. To help each other.
But within the framework of a region, African Union is an organization that supervises this kind of things. In Somalia,
the ceasefire which had been called was by the regional summit, the IGAD. We had an IGAD summit.
So let's talk about your troops in Somalia. They have been there for the better part of a decade, maybe an entire decade, and they haven't achieved much. Are you going to withdraw them?
No, they have stabilized Somalia.
It's not stable.
They have stabilized Somalia. Yes, there are still some problems, but the situation would have been much worse. They have stabilized Somalia. Our only concern is that Somalia has not built their national army. That's what we encourage them to do. But otherwise, the population, if you go to Mogadishu, the population is full.
And they have, according to reports, your army has committed atrocities in Somalia. They have killed civilians inside Mogadishu several times. They have caused a continuation of the conflict instead of putting an end to the conflict.
No, yes, we have stopped Al-Shabaab from taking over. We are very sorry about that. If you support Al-Shabaab,
sorry,
then I'm sorry for you. So you must be disappointed if you support Al-Shabaab. It is true that we have defeated Al-Shabaab, stopped them from taking over. But Al-Shabaab is an extremist group, contrary to our African culture of tolerance. We live and let live. This is how we live in that area.
So you're there to. So it's a moral war against Al-Shabaab.
It is moral and ideological for Al-Shabaab. We don't have a border with Somalia because you said South Sudan. We are there for interest. Now there is Somalia.
Yes, but also there is this other explanation going around that actually sending your troops abroad, like in the case of Somalia, is a source of income.
Yes.
Because these troops get very big salaries.
Everything is smart.
Actually, Uganda has been sending its army into several African countries, and this has created, according to the reports, the accusations, a great source of income for the country. So are you selling the services of your troops
not at all.
Get back?
Not at all. When we were in South Sudan, we were there at our own cost.
Really?
That's because you have economic ties with South Sudan.
Come on.
It seems you have not heard of something called solidarity.
There is no solidarity.
Solidarity.
That could be a banner for it. Yeah.
No.
That could be the cover.
My
this
dear
journalist.
When we fought the Portuguese in Angola, in Mozambique and Angola.
Now he want to go to Pan-Africanist.
The frontline states.
This guy
Tanzania.
He's not using he doesn't have that mentality. He doesn't have the mentality of the Pan-African. Pan-African leaders, they don't go and invade the other country or even causing havoc there or, political instability in order for you to squander or to plunder all the wealth of that country, like the way he's doing in South Sudan. So now they're even engaging, taking our timber in Western Equatoria, in Central Equatoria, in those areas, encroaching to our land and so on, taking side with one side here, and also eliminating one community and so on. This is not Pan-African. This is not Pan-Africanism attitude. Pan-Africanism, you don't engage yourself to, divide community within one country. You work towards bringing them together. So this is nonsense. He is just using, girl solidarity. Who said that? He's getting money from South Sudan. He's been paid since 2013, 14, 15, and up to now. Even this time around when he came, by the way, he took the cash. We have this information. He took, and he was actually cash at the presidency. At the Grujda, Ushalo Mafi Tayara. Grujda Khotofi Tayara. Cash. The Gruj Bita, missionaries Bita Jabuda. This is information that we know. So there's nothing that solidarity or agreement or the kalam father say.
When we stood against Ian Smith in Rhodesia, who was paying those countries, they were actually losing. This is the tradition of African freedom fighters. I am part of the African freedom fighters.
No,
if you have not seen any,
Africa.
I am one. Here you have one.
Okay. Bloomberg.
Now, remember, put it in your logic of Al Jazeera, that Africans will defend their freedom.
You defend their freedom. You are the same person who actually sold Gaddafi out. You are the same person who sold. This is not the attitude of a freedom fighter or attitude of Pan-Africans.
Even though they are poor, you are saying because you are poor, you cannot defend your.
When your soldiers are
your rights,
Mr. President.
No, you are the one who said that because you are poor, you cannot defend your rights. And I have told you that we have fought
But you're not defending your right
and
now.
defeated the
You're
colonialists,
causing problem.
even in our poverty.
Okay, that was a long time ago, but let's talk about now. When your troops
Excellent.
are being highly paid, while Somali troops are almost not paid at all, when your troops in Somalia are highly paid, they are sending millions of dollars back to Uganda. That's no longer freedom fighting. That's no longer humanitarian help.
I have,
And let me refer to this article by Bloomberg, May 10, 2016, under the title "Uganda Stop Export Mercenaries." Not only soldiers, Uganda is also encouraging its own citizens to go and be mercenaries.
mercenaries where?
Yeah, it's here. It's mentioned in this article by Bloomberg, and it seems to be very well documented. They call it private military contractors. That's the euphemism for it. And it here says in Iraq, Ugandans protect U.S. diplomats in Baghdad and Basra. They also guard businesses and aid workers in Afghanistan and Somalia. But it's a long article talking about this, and it has lots of figures in it. So it's been going on for many years. Uganda sending its own citizens to be mercenaries across the world for payment.
No, those are security companies, private security companies.
Yes, but you know about them, and it is
Yes,
going on.
we know about them, and you see what is the fact is that because of our liberation struggle, because we fought wars and defeated them by our own means, so we have a tradition of fighting.
So you have a surplus of fighters to
you
send
mean
to other countries?
No, it's not a surplus. It is our people have that courage and experience,
and they want to use it everywhere.
So when there are these security groups, they don't go to fight those wars. Those are not wars. It is to guard houses, to guard infrastructure, to guard.
The same article says,
haven't you seen? Don't you have private security organizations here in Qatar?
You have 20,000 Ugandan security guards across the world. That's a big figure for Uganda, a small country. And the article says armed guards are Uganda's top export. Mercenary remittances surpassed coffee exports in 2009. Coffee has been the biggest source of income for Uganda. Now mercenaries, the income coming from them,
that one
has surpassed coffee.
That one is an illiterate person.
How can
the
he
biggest
be
export, the biggest export of ours is the industrial products to the regions of East Africa, industrial products.
And this is what I was saying. Now with the new US tariff that was imposed on some countries in Africa that were actually being supported by the US to export their whatever material they have, their goods, whether the textile or their coffee and so on. Now with this new policy of Trump, Uganda now is under an issue. That's why I was reading this out before. And impact on Uganda and Africa. Uganda currently charges 20% tariff on US imports, a rate Washington deems excessive, while the 10% US tariff on Uganda export is lower. It could still impact key sectors such as agriculture, they are confident, and then again textile, and then again the proceed goods which rely on access to American markets. So this will actually affect them. That's why they have to continue with these missionaries, continue with this plundering of our resources, whatever in South Sudan, to continue to stabilize the region, not only South Sudan, even Sudan. I know they are used as also with Emirat, and also what is happening in Burundi and plus Congo. When do it then? So all these countries should remain in this situation, and then he continue with his agenda. So I really like this interview because I actually watched it before some time back, but I just want to play also to support the argument that we're making here, how he's looking at all this neighboring and so on. This guy is right. because they're exporting more missionaries out.
The next one is tourism. Coffee is not the top exporter. Export earning.
Tourism.
It is something.
It used to be, yeah.
So that's obviously a lie. Tourism will get 1.5 billion from tourism dollars. So that figure is a liar.
Going back to you, President Museveni, an Arab poet once wrote or said that you certainly get bored when you live for 8 decades. You're now in your 8th decade. Are you bored of being in the presidential seat for so much time? Are you about to decide to get retired?
I'm not if I retire, it is not because I'm bored, because our history is that we are mission oriented. Each time we have a new mission for our people.
New mission.
Somebody with a mission cannot be bored.
Hungry.
So how much more time do you need to finish the job? You always say I want to finish the job. How much time do you need?
It is not me. It is our country, our party.
No.
We are the ones who look at our situation
This is not a
and
party
decide what
anymore.
to do.
It's your
You
family
say
business.
you have done a lot for Uganda.
Mm.
What else? What is the major thing that you want to do next before you leave power?
We have identified.
So this guy, this very ambitious guy, is living under the establishment, security establishment of the other nation, so they can get wealth. So this is just want to tell you, and I played this, and Zamana Gutta, and I will repeat this. أنا أقدر نقول هنا الزول ده زول الكان قاعد يسجل أصوات الناس اللي في جوبا لازم تعرفوا، بالذات سياسيين تعرفوا ده الزول ده اللي هو نابليون، اسمه نابليون أداك جاي ده أهو، يعني صورة بتاعنا هو صغير، ده أهو شغال أهو قاعد يعمل AI artificial لاجة هو عملوا لنا دكتوريات من سبورت كان وشنو، لأنه ما في evidence هسه في conversation بتاعنا سبورت كان وده ما في، ده كان normal conversation، ما في دليل بتاع إنه to implicate them، لكن زول ده يعمل حاجات عايش شنو ده AI ده أجل ده artificial intelligence، حتى audio بتاع بقانا موم ده هم يازاتوا behind this. So anyways, I will stop here. I will end the video in YouTube, my brothers and sisters. Topic بتاعنا يا كان واضح، the consequences of Museveni's intervention in South Sudan in the region. أنا طبعا اتكلمت من different aspect، من إنه from like the origins بتاعهم اللي هم ذاته كقبيلة دارين يسيطروا، يعني هم اللي بيسموا نفسهم كان رواندا ولا هم ديل اللي هسه هم عاملين مثلث بتاع كونغو دارين يجيبوا، يعني هم قاعدين يعملوا سبورت ل M23. يعني عندك برضه في اتجاه بتاع رواندا وهو في يوغندا، لأنه هو أصلا أوريجينالي زول ده هو من رواندا أصلا، اللي هو ذاته اسمه شنو ده يوري موسيفيني ده. هم هسه عاملين مثلث ده، وما بس كده عاملين يعني زعزعة أمنية في المناطق ده كله. ففي جوانب عرقية وسيطرة وهيمنة عشان هم يسيطروا في المنطقة. they want to make sure إنه يعني هم ينسبوا ناسهم ديل في المنطقة ده كله. يعني تكلمنا برضه في جوانب سياسية as well، تكلمنا من جانب اللي هو جانب عرقية ثقافية، وجانب اقتصادية تكلمنا فيه، وجوانب برضه اللي شنو ده اللي هو بيسعى انه جنوب يصل لمرحله بتاع تقسيم، عشان عنده مطامع انه داير يشيل ايكواتوريا ريجون ده المطامع بتاعه، لانه هم في زياده بتاع تعداد السكاني، هم فاضي طبعا. هم عشان كده لما يتدخلوا دائما بيجي في مجانب عشان يخلقوا زياده بتاع التصعيد القبلي في جنوب السودان، وبعد ذاك جنوب السودان يشتت، الناس يبدا يشاكلوا، يلا هم بقى يقطعوا الجنوب ده حسب اجزائهم، السودان يشيل جزء وده هو فاد حقه ده وبقدر ايكواتوريا. عشان كده بتشوفوا مطامع بتاعه ده مرات هيز انكروجينج يعني ده ما حاجه ساكت، لانه جنوب فيه ثروات كتير، وكده. يعني عندك التيك اللي هو تيمبا، وعندك ذهب، يورانيوم، أشياء كتير ما داير أقعد أذكر لأنه ذات كله ما نعمل ادفرتايزمنت ده قاعد نخلي المجرمين ده كله يجي. فده مطامع بتاعه هم دارين جنوب ده يتفرتك عشان بعد ده كويس أي طرف يشيل جزء بتاعه كده. لاحظ المنطقة ده كله تشوف إنه ليه هم ما دارين استقرار في جنوب السودان، حتى لدرجة إنه ليه ما قاعد يدعموا المعارضات الثانية اللي هم كان هم دارين فعلا سلام في البلد ده بشكل يدعم زول ديكتاتوري زي كده. ده زول اصلا سبب فينا في اسم الدمار بتاع جنوب السودان. فانا المهم اجيب هنا وبشكركم كتير، ربنا يبارككم، وانا اي كلام قلته هنا انا مسؤول منه. يعني فانا در يعني در اجيب هنا مع الفيديو ده وندي فرصه بقى للناس اللي يريد يتكلموا وتعالوا في كلاب هاوس. يا بولدوزر are you there؟
سلام تاكم.
كلام جه. فضل
لا سلام ما بيجي سلام ما بيجي
بيجلاو ينو مج
بورميلي شغايد هناك ما بيجي سلام.
يا فضل.